I'm sure everyone back home is so fucking sad to be losing their perfect little princess.
Yellowjackets takes us on a gripping and twisted journey through the lives of a high school girls soccer team whose lives are forever changed after a plane crash leaves them stranded in the wilderness. While the survivors try to rebuild their lives, dark secrets from their past resurface, revealing just how far they went to survive. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. In today's video, we will break down this psychological drama, which shifts between the horrors of their time in the wild and their lives in 2021, blending mystery, betrayal, and the haunting aftermath of trauma. Here's a recap of Yellowjackets Season 1.
You guys, something's happening.
No.
The Yellowjackets' fateful flight. In 1996, the Yellowjackets, a girls' high school soccer team from New Jersey, had just earned their spot in a national tournament. It was a proud moment for all of them, but little did they know this journey would lead to something far darker than anyone could have imagined. The season begins with a harrowing scene. A young woman dressed in nothing but a nightgown, running for her life through a snow-covered forest, sobbing. She falls into a trap and is dragged away by people in Yellowjackets t-shirts, animal furs, and masks. The last thing she sees is death as she is slaughtered in the wilderness. This image sets the tone for the horrific events that unfold.
All I know is that what happened was a tragedy. Those girls were special.
High school drama and the plane crash. Back in the world of high school soccer, Thaisa, the team's star player, is a bit of a force to be reckoned with. During practice, she tackles Allie, a freshman, who she considers a liability. Allie ends up with a broken leg, sidelining her for the tournament. At a party later, Shauna tries to confront Thaisa, but their captain Jackie, Shauna's best friend, intervenes. Shauna, however, is secretly involved with Jackie's boyfriend Jeff, and the tension in their friendship starts to simmer. Shauna's affair with Jeff becomes a part of the tangled web of secrets that slowly starts to unravel throughout the season. The day of the big trip, the team boards a private plane to take them to the tournament, but the flight doesn't go as planned. Due to a storm, the plane is rerouted over Canada, and eventually it crashes, leaving the survivors stranded in the wilderness. The episode ends on this shocking note, leaving us to wonder how these girls will survive and what horrors they will face in the days to come.
We have to help her! I'm coming, man! Help me!
The survivors in 2021. In 2021, the surviving members of the Yellowjackets have all gone their separate ways, but their shared past is far from forgotten. Shauna, now married to Jeff and with a teenage daughter, seems to have put her high school years behind her. But when a fake journalist named Jessica Roberts approaches her with an offer of a 7-figure book deal, Shauna's dark past is brought back to the surface. Jessica wants to know what happened in the wilderness all those years ago, and she's willing to pay handsomely for the answers. Meanwhile, Thaisa has grown up to become a state senator, though she is dealing with her own demons, particularly regarding her son Sammy's disturbing behavior. Misty, now a geriatric nurse, appears to be living a quiet life, though she's far from the innocent, helpful caregiver she seems. And Natalie, after finishing rehab, is attempting to reconnect with old friends, but there's clearly something unresolved in her life.
This is not my fault, okay? Because you can't just stop without warning. It is
Misty's obsession and survival skills. Misty, always resourceful and a bit obsessive, uses her extensive knowledge of first aid to tend to the survivors in the immediate aftermath of the crash. She saves Ben Scott, the assistant coach, by amputating his leg after it's mangled in the wreckage. But Misty's dark side also begins to show when she discovers an emergency locator beacon on the plane and decides to destroy it, preventing anyone from finding them too soon. Her growing obsession with survival and attention becomes more evident with each passing day.
I didn't say rocks. Someone's shoe or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's a fuck.
Tensions and relationships begin to shift. As the group begins to settle into their harsh new reality, relationships start to shift. Shauna, struggling with her guilt and loss of control, starts an affair with Adam, a man she meets after an accident in a parking lot. But their connection goes beyond just chemistry. Adam begins to pry into her past, asking questions that Shauna is not ready to answer. Meanwhile, Natalie, who has a complicated history with addiction and trauma, is suspicious of the postcards that all the survivors begin receiving. These postcards bear strange symbols, and she, along with Misty, sets off to investigate the mystery of Travis's death, which they believe was not a suicide.
A lot of theories, but do you want to go first? Oh, do you want something to drink?
Finding the cabin and unraveling the past. Back in the wilderness, the group is growing more desperate. After days of searching for food, they stumble upon an abandoned cabin. Inside, they find the body of a man who clearly had been there before them. They bury him in an unmarked grave, their paranoia and fear of the unknown growing with each passing hour. And then, the tensions really begin to rise. Lottie, who has been struggling with mental health issues and hallucinations since the crash, becomes convinced that the wilderness is speaking to her, and the group is starting to fall under her influence. At the same time, Ben, the coach, is sinking into despair, and Misty's unhealthy obsession with him only deepens.
Lottie, literally his fucking dad.
The rifle, the deer, and growing bonds. By the time episode 4 rolls around, the survivors have come across a rifle and enough ammunition to begin hunting for food. It's clear that Natalie and Travis are starting to bond, though their relationship is complicated by the trauma they're both carrying. Meanwhile, Shauna grows closer to Travis's younger brother, Javi, who seems to be one of the few innocent figures left in this twisted world. When Natalie and Travis go hunting, they manage to kill a deer, but it's not just survival that's driving them. It's the emotional and psychological toll of their situation that's starting to break down the barriers between them.
It's perfectly okay to keep a gun in the house if your kid's too stupid to...
Lottie's hallucinations and supernatural beliefs. The flashbacks to their time in the wilderness continue to reveal dark truths about the group's descent into madness. Lottie begins to hallucinate a deer, and some believe her to be gifted with supernatural powers. The group is not only physically surviving, they are becoming transformed by the experience, as their minds and spirits are slowly eroded by fear, hunger, and isolation.
It wants something.
Life in 2021, the unraveling continues. Meanwhile, in 2021, the survivors' lives continue to unravel. Shauna's affair with Adam becomes more complicated as she realizes that Adam isn't who he claims to be. Misty, ever the manipulator, begins to suspect that Jessica, the journalist, is involved in something deeper and starts digging into her past. Tisa's political career is threatened by her strange behavior at night, and she begins to realize that something much darker is at play within her own mind. All the while, the group receives more cryptic clues about their past, with each one leading them closer to uncovering what truly happened in the wilderness.
Just that we're surrounded by big-ass mountains. What are you now, Edmund fucking Hillary?
Expedition to Escape, and the River of Blood. In episode 7, things take an even darker turn. The survivors decide to leave the cabin and embark on an expedition to find a way out of the wilderness. Lottie predicts that they will encounter a river of blood and red smoke, and sure enough, they stumble upon a river that is stained a deep red. The group is then attacked by a pack of wolves, and in the chaos, Van is severely injured. Despite the trauma, the group manages to return to the cabin, but the physical and emotional toll of their journey is taking a serious toll on everyone's mental state.
You're having him over now? Can you just keep your voice down? Oh, I'm sorry. Is it time to be
The blackmailer and secrets unraveling. In 2021, the tension between the survivors reaches a breaking point. Shauna, Thaisa, Natalie, and Misty are forced to confront their shared past, and their reunion becomes a toxic mess of secrets, guilt, and lies. The group pays a blackmailer $50,000, but when they learn who the blackmailer is, things spiral further out of control. The lines between friend and foe blur, and the surviving members of the Yellowjackets find themselves in a race to cover up their past before it consumes them completely.
Who the fuck are
Doom coming and hallucinatory chaos. By the time episode 9 arrives, the survivors are holding a bizarre homecoming party, which they dub Doomcoming. The party takes a dark turn when the group, except for Jackie, unknowingly consumes hallucinogenic mushrooms. Hallucinations and paranoia take over, and they confront Jackie, who is already on the edge. In the frenzy, Javi disappears into the woods, and the group's descent into madness reaches its peak. When they finally catch up with him, it's clear that the group is no longer capable of rational thought.
Oh, what? Like the fucking spirits give a shit that Nat called dibs on Travis?
This has nothing to do with her.
The end of Jackie and Lottie's influence. In episode 10, the survivors' true breakdown begins. Lottie kills a bear that appears to approach her without fear, and the group starts to believe that she may have some sort of supernatural connection to the wilderness. As tensions between Shauna, Jackie, and the others rise, Jackie becomes an unfortunate casualty. She is left outside in the cold, and, to their horror, the group finds her frozen body the next morning. With no other options, Lottie and the others offer the bear's heart as a tribute to the wilderness.
Said and did some stuff that we regret last night.
Final revelations and cleanup in 2021. Back in 2021, the fallout from the past is finally catching up with everyone. Shauna, Taissa, Natalie, and Misty find themselves cleaning up the mess of their past actions, desperately trying to bury the truth. Taissa wins her Senate race, but it's clear that the scars of her past are far from healed. Meanwhile, in an unsettling twist, Simone discovers something sinister in their basement, and it's clear that the trauma of the wilderness is still haunting them all. Misty, ever the wild card, poisons Jessica to keep her quiet, and the group is left to confront their darkest secrets. Secrets that will no longer stay buried.
They were our classmates, our teachers, our friends.
The mystery deepens. As the season ends, the mystery surrounding the deaths, the disappearances, and the events in the wilderness is far from solved. With each passing moment, the survivors are getting closer to the truth, whether they want to face it or not. The first season of Yellowjackets serves as a chilling reminder of how trauma can shape lives, and how the past can resurface in the most unexpected of ways.
Like we're gonna trust you around the food?
Our nerdy thoughts. Yellowjackets keeps you on the edge of your seat, blending survival horror with psychological drama. As the survivors continue to grapple with the horrors of their past, the mysteries deepen and the stakes rise. Season 1 leaves us with more questions than answers, but one thing is certain: the story is far from over. We will cover the second season recap also. Till then, bye-bye and take care.
What the heck, I'll laugh anyway.